gameplay first, and then later, focus on gimmicky or cheesy strategies. But it's definitely important to know how to play all kinds of style at the level that I play at. Otherwise, you become predictable.
You don't want that. Would you say that your Brood War background as a Terran player has been crucial for your quick development as a top-tier StarCraft 2 player? Has that made it easier, all those years grinding on IC Cup?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's a pretty well-known fact that any player coming from, an SC1 or a Warcraft 3 background compared to other RTSs or even non-RTS players are going to have a easier transition than, whatever, if they're coming from Supreme Commander, even though I think TLO came from there and he is a great player, but yeah, he's definitely special.
Yeah, I haven't had a Warcraft 3 player on the show yet. I hope to have so soon, because I used to play Warcraft 3 a lot many years ago. I was never a good multiplayer player as such, but it was a fun game, and the micro-intensiveness is of course something that you can bring with you to StarCraft 2. I'm sure you've met many renowned nowadays StarCraft 2 players with a Warcraft 3 background. The Muslim, Coffin Luck, others comes to mind. Would you say that there's a discernible difference in play style between Warcraft 3 players and Brood War players nowadays?
Yeah, I would definitely say, like you said, Warcraft 3 players usually don't have as good mechanics or macro compared to the SC1 players, but they have incredible micro. People like you said in Kiwi Kahaki and Moonblade and other people like that, they have this really good micro, and once their macro mechanics get there, they're going to be a better all-around player, I feel, in SC2.
Yeah, of course, it's not easy to learn mechanics or micro, but I guess there's more of a science to it. It's easier to practice it over and over, I suppose. If you feel you're already adept at other aspects of the game, it's more approachable. And I know I got 1 or 2 emails just last week from people saying, I don't have the beta, I'm not a StarCraft player, it seems kind of daunting. Is there a way I can sort of start practice for StarCraft 2 when it comes out? Sort of an easy transition into strategy gaming, and I told them to play some Warcraft 3 just to get into the idea of real-time strategy and also the hero micro and whatnot. It has some relevant points to StarCraft 2 if you're beginning as a new player. At least I would say so.
Yeah, I agree completely. I mean, it's going to be hard for non-RTS players to come into SC2 and do well, but I mean, if they have the dedication and they actually take the time and the effort to put into it, anything's possible.
Yeah, and I think there are so many excellent learning resources out there now online that certainly did not exist for either Warcraft 3 or Brood War back when those games were young. I mean, on YouTube there are so many tutorials and everything. If you are dedicated, you can truly learn fast now, and I don't think necessarily that the old crew of Brood War and Warcraft 3 players will always be the ones dominating for a year or so, definitely, but not forever. But something I like to bring up with every guest is their switch of races, because more often than not, people have gone from the one race they had in Brood War and were so dedicated to another one, in Control, Artosis, and you went from Terran to Protoss. What was the thought behind that?
I just really liked Bisu's play in SC1, and then when I got the beta, I was just like, oh, I guess I'll just try Protoss, and like ever since I just stuck with it, I guess. I guess that would be the biggest impact on me was Bisu's Protoss play in StarCraft 1. And then other than that, just really, I don't know, I didn't want to play the same race for StarCraft 2 after playing Terran for so many years in SC1.
That makes sense. It gives you a reason to get away, I suppose, like a new marriage kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, you seem to be doing very well. I know you're not here to gloat or to blow your own horn as such, but what can you tell us about some of the more memorable victories and battles you fought over the beta?
Well, my biggest win for cash prize was the ESL Grand Finales. I think it was May, where I beat in the finals TLO 3-2, and it was pretty good games. This is when he was playing random. Other than that, I've won, I think, 2 or 3 ESLs. I've won not a Zotac. I've won 3 Craft Cups or something. I don't know. There's a lot of them. But my most memorable one was definitely the ESL Grand Finales. And then besides that, playing in show matches and stuff for ITL and MLG and, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you've certainly been around and all over the place. And beating TLO, whom I lovingly would like to refer to as the Lady Gaga of StarCraft Brood War, based entirely on creativity and not looks in any way, thankfully. That must have been quite a feat. I hope to have him on the show soon as well. But moving on to perhaps more esports in general, and whether or not that is becoming more than just a nerd hobby and something closer to a vocation. You now belong to a professional team as such, and it's not a North American one. What can you tell us about that?
Oh, I joined Millennium. I used to play for VT, which was the North American team, and then I switched to Millennium. Make sure to check us out at millennium.org. But yeah, it is a French team. As of right now, it's only me and Momin in the team, and then our manager Remy. But really soon, I want to say within a week of release, before or after, we're going to be adding a lot more players, both foreign and within the French scene. As far as it being a French team and me joining it instead of a North American team, I don't really feel like it's that big of an issue. I mean, I'm still going to play in as many tournaments as possible. Me and Moment still practice a lot. I don't know. It just never was an issue if it was French, German, North American, Australian, whatever.
No, esports is global, and, well, unlike anything that involves that requires physical presence. This can be played across borders, across personal differences, gender boundaries, anything. It makes it very, very inclusive, and I think that's a great sociological aspect of this scene, especially if it becomes truly professional, that it can bring people together from so many different corners. But let's talk about the growth of the StarCraft 2 esports scene. There are many rumors around, big sponsorships, nothing is confirmed really, but things are definitely happening. Team Liquid is returning to the scene with force, and some of our favorite, most popular casters out there are keeping quiet about exactly what's happening, but we do know that something is happening. How do you see the scene progressing, and is it becoming more and more viable to go for pro gaming as a professional job?
Yeah, I mean, the more popular a game becomes, the harder the competition is, obviously. I think it was a lot easier to make an impact in Warcraft 3 than SC1, just because, there was tons of great SC1 players in Korea and out compared to, the amount of Warcraft 3 players. Not to take anything away from Warcraft 3 players or anything. I'm just, the Brood War scene compared to the Warcraft 3 scene was there's a pretty big difference there. But I think it is viable. It depends how dedicated you are, I guess. I think Asia's still going to be, the mecca of esports for at least this game. I mean, it might not be for every game, but for StarCraft 2, I feel like it's going to be that way. And then I think Europe's going to be, kind of the second place, and North America, unfortunately, third place. I don't know what it is about RTSs in North America, but something just doesn't click, it seems, as much as the other two, at least.
Well, you guys sure like your Call of Duty and Modern Warfare, I think. Nothing wrong with that, but there's stiff competition from that scene. Even so, things are progressing, but also there are some more technical worries on the horizon. But I think Blizzard has shown some interest to work it out. But of course, it's the restrictions on cross-regional play, something I've brought up in many other broadcasts. And you live in North America, you're part of a French-based team, and last time I checked, it was still not confirmed whether or not you could be playing across the continents, the different servers, without buying several different copies of the game, and it will be quite laborious and perhaps laggy. How do you see that being resolved?
Well, for me personally, I'm just gonna get multiple
I'm sure
copies. Yeah, but for other people, it's